Welcome back. This will be part 15 of a character modeling tutorial series. This video we're going to talk about how to relax and correct some of the edge loops according to like the actual final model we're looking for, or as you can see, the head has all the right loops, but it's not really proportionate to the human anatomy that what we're looking for. So we're going to be using some of the sculpting tools and then some reference images to kind of fine-tune the position of all the loops that we've created so far. I have one image that I pulled in from the front and side view. So I've got this front view or side view right here, and then the front view of the same character as a good male reference. That's really all I'm using it for. Just to get a good reference of where to place the eyes, the ears, the mouth, the nose, and how to round the head off more successfully. So I think we've got a pretty decent amount of edge loops, but let's go ahead and add a couple more to try to give us some better use of some of the lines that were needed for the head. So let's do Mesh Tools, Insert Edge Loop. I don't want to flood this with too many edge loops, but that's a good area that's pretty blocky that could benefit from having some more loops. In the center of the face could also benefit from some, so let's add one more loop right there. Okay. This outer corner of the mouth could also benefit from some as well, which will then actually create more loops to the back of the head as well, which will be really helpful. Okay, so we're going to start there. We could add some more loops here as well. One right there, that'd be a good spot for them. One right here as well, but we don't want to add too many, so it's already getting enough around the eyes to give us some more definition around the eyes and some more definition around the lips as well. Alright, so what we're going to do from a side view, I'm going to hide my body for a second, make sure we're in object mode, Control H to hide that, is we're going to first try to define the profile side view of the character so it matches more of like an actual human skull or whatnot. So if I go to the modeling toolkit and turn on soft select, I can grab some edges here, try to fan that out some, try to drag them out slowly so that I can get more of a rounded head form here. So it's already looking a lot better, but I'm using my reference, turn off soft select when I need to try to finalize the form of the head a little more. Now, one of the things that's really helpful as I'm doing this is to create an even distance for the edges or through the back of the head. So really this one needs to be much lower as it goes down here. And then the rest of these need to fan down to kind of blend that a little more. So a good tool, let's actually just go ahead and take care of that point on the forehead a little bit more. The character's head in the source image is masked a little bit by the hair. So my geometry head is too tall compared to the character hair that's in the way there, but it's pretty close. So we'll come back and refine that a little bit. We'll also take care of how pointed it is on the sides. We can go ahead and try to do some of that by taking some of these edge loops. If you hold down shift while clicking on between two edges, it'll create an edge ring just between that section. So that's pretty good to kind of smooth and round that off. Maybe I'll take this edge loop and that a little bit. We're trying to just get a more rounded skull shape there. Right. One other thing that's going to be really good, it's 2 point at the top, is now to use this sculpting tool, the relax tool. And I'll go back and forth between relax and smooth. So what relax is going to do is try to even out those edge loops there. There we go. So we can even out all of those on the back of the head. That'll eventually create a much more consistent edge loop for the back of the head. Let's try to do this with the top of the head as well. Even out some of those. Oh, look, somehow we got a N-gon in there. Let's undo that a little bit. So let's go to the multi-cut and connect that back up. Okay, I'm not even sure how this was created here. but this loop can go all the way around the head. So sometimes you just need to go back and kind of fix any geometry issues that you might have. There you go, that's pretty good. All right, so now with the relax tool, let's come back and even some of these out a little more. The smooth tool is really good for taking pointed areas, like right there, and rounding that off a little bit. If any of these sculpting tools are too large, if you hold down the B key, changes the brush size, and then the M key is the strength, so you can drag up and down for the strength there. With smooth and relax, I do want that to be pretty high of strength. So I got a hole sometimes with the smooth tool there, so let's see if we can undo that a little bit. Put it back in object mode. Yes, there's a hole up there, so let's see what we can do there. Yep, so let's make sure we go to edit mesh merge. Okay, and that should merge. Turn off saw select any holes there. Didn't do those. So what we might want to do is select just those edge loops. Let's go to the front view, center the top. So this is also a good time to kind of clean up any known issues you might find. So I'm going to select those vertices and let's go to edit mesh merge, go to the box beside it. We just need to increase that threshold. So let's do 0.1, the threshold there, and let's do merge. Okay, so now let's go back. Just want to make sure there's no holes. Can't really tell. Oh, let's turn off symmetry for a second. There we go. There we go. Okay, so no holes are going on there now. Turn Object X symmetry back on and go back into object mode, and let's go to smooth. Now we shouldn't see the head kind of breaking apart there. So if we smooth that kind of bumpiness out there with a larger brush, can really smooth that head out, really smooth the forehead a little more. There we go. Starting to look a lot better now by head form. Maybe the center, the head needs to be smoothed in a little bit more. There we go. So starting to get a much more smoother shape now. For some reason it took that extra edge loop out that we created. So let's go back in here with the multi-cut, clean all that back out. There we go. All right. So now we can come in here. Even with like the sculpt tool, and maybe try to pull some forms out a little bit. There we go, create more of a rounded form up there. There we go. All right. So I just have the regular sculpt tool with a low strength. And I'm just trying to pull forms out a little bit, like the temple a little more. So this is a really good tool to kind of smooth out the form, and then to kind of pull shapes back out with the regular extrude tool there. I'm gonna pull this back out a little bit more. So I go back and forth between sculpting, smoothing, smooth that out a little bit more, and relaxing. So with the sculpt tool, get a smaller brush. Temples are a little bit too indented in there, so we'll kind of pull some of these forms back out some. Try to define that jawline a little bit more here. They're pretty good. If you also hold down the shift tool, that's the smooth tool as well. So you go down shift and drag with the basic brush tool. That will also kind of pull out our smooth forms. We do want a little bit of an indentation for that temple, but not as much as what we had. Okay, so this is also a good time for the relax tool right here. So if I see some other areas might be too spread apart, kind of blend it with the relax again. Yeah, that's pretty good right there. The relax tool will sometimes create pointed areas, so you can also come back with the smooth, correct that with the smooth tool. Sometimes all these tools won't work to fix that form, so you might need to go back to individual to vertex mode and kind of blend that back. So that's kind of too high, so move that down. Pull that back out there. All right, so now let's go back to our form. We're actually following the form pretty well here. We maybe can go back to vertex mode with soft select now that we have a pretty good base. Try to move things down a little more, move that back some. Select a larger area, move that back this way. My forehead is a little bit pulled out too much. Let's see, we can take some of these, pull that this way a little bit. Take some of these, pull them in. Take this, pull that back out this way some. There you go. All right. So a neck is also too close, so we can drag that back. And I'm just looking for rough proportions, so nothing exact here. But I also want to look at my nose structure, so we'll get to that here in a second. We'll try to flatten some of these a little more. Okay, starting to get a little bit of a flat head there. We can start to pull things up a little bit more. I don't have too much to do here other than just kind of pull these back just a little bit. Pretty good start. All right, I do want kind of a bigger nose for this character, so my nose is actually following pretty good and proportioned pretty well. If I look at my mouth is just a little smaller or lower. So what I can do is actually come in here and try to select, let's go to the 3D view, like an even loop. Let's take those off, take that off, and let it blend the rest. Looks like a good start. And with soft select selected, let's try volume instead. Maybe I'll select a little bit less of the nose to put our value down lower, 3 or something. There we go. So I just want to move it up just a little bit. Nothing too crazy. Move it up just a little bit. Might need to define the chin a little more because I got a lot of chunks here. It's a little bit too wide. There we select those and kind of move them in. There we go. Starting to look a little better. I'll deselect the outer ones. So this is just kind of creating, first off what we did was create the edge loops, how we needed the edge loops to be. Now we're just trying to refine those forms so that the geometry looks the way we want it to look. It's a lot better to start that process than to say, well, let's model the way it looks, but have improper edge loops to them. Let's pull some of these up some. So my chin from the side view needs a little more work to it. So what I can do is take some of these loops and start to pull some of these forms out a little more to get a little bit more of a rounded chin form. These can go down some. Okay, so we want that chin to come out a little more. All right, so from a side view, we're doing pretty good. We might need to move and soft select these in a little bit. There you go. So define that chin a little more. We can take like this edge, we can define those cheekbones a little more. It's all right. We might want to move some of these over a little more now that we have more edge loops. So that way we can pull this vertex out a little bit, define those cheekbones a little more. The eyes are just too far apart. So from the front view, the side view, they're kind of positioned where we want them to be, maybe a little lower than where they need to be. So maybe we can come in here and select it from the side, but try to deselect some of these middle ones, maybe that outer one. Try to blend some of these a little more. And from the side view, see if we can blend that up, move that up a little bit more. There you go, that's all right there. Let's take our eyeball geometry and kind of move them up. But our eyes are going to be too spread apart, so we're going to fix that from the front view now as well. So let's look at it from the front view. He has a much more of a pompadour type of hairstyle that's moved up in the air. But this might be a good time to say, well, maybe we need to take some of these vertices and kind of move them out a little bit from the back of the head. Maybe this part needs to be a little higher. This could be a little bit further out, a little bit more there. The neck is too far out in this area, so we could blend that back in some. These areas could be pulled out more. So we're just trying to blend some of these forms so that they would match a rough human proportion. So we'll take some of these and drag them in. Try to look at the back of the head as well. It's becoming to be pretty good there. I don't think we have too much to worry about. All right, but the main thing is that the eyes and the mouth could be positioned a little better, so we can see the eyes from this front view. Actually, I think I probably should move this image plane down a little from this front view. I think that's pretty good. So our front view image plane was a little higher. All right, so what's going to make this a lot more natural looking is if I take a look at my eyes, they need to be a lot closer to the center of the head. So let's try to take these vertices for the eyes again. Let's try to take that entire loop, deselect the eye geometry. Well, okay, so let's undo a couple times. There you go. We'll try to take that one and this one as well. Let's see what it looks like when I'm moving it. Yeah, maybe I'll put my volume value down some. I think that's pretty good. We'll try that. All right, so from the front view, we need to do two things. We need to move them in, and then also from the side view, we need to kind of rotate them out. Okay, so we'll also move them forward a little bit. Let's move it in some more, and I think we actually just need to scale some as well. I think the eyelids are too big. So let's scale it out by accident. There we go. So we get the move tool. I think we'll start there. That looks all right for base position. Okay. We need to move the eyeballs back, right? So maybe we'll move the eyeballs this way. Find my center eye line. There's my center eye line. And we'll focus on correcting one eye. My eyelids are probably too far forward. And then I'll go correct the other one. So let's leave that eyeball for right now. So now let's come in here with some of these vertices and start to blend them back some more for the position. Turn off our soft select. We select those. Round it off a little more. There you go. All right, so my eyes are still just too big. So the corners of the eyes could come in some. That looks a lot better. Okay, maybe that one's kind of pushed back some. Maybe the outer eyelid area is also too big. So let's turn our soft select back on. Kind of move them closer to the eye there. That's pretty good. Start there. All right, I'm gonna turn soft select on and off as I keep doing this. So that way I can affect some vertices while not others. There you go. So now that I have more edge loops, this would be a good time to come and kind of round off the form more. Take these two, move them there. That one's okay. Move that one out. Take those. This one just needs to be much closer over here. Something like that. And then we can take that one and kind of pull this one back close over here. All right, the top eyelid looks pretty good. We just got to correct some of these so that it actually wraps around the form of the eyeball. Okay, something like that. Try to take these, kind of fan them out a little more. So now that I have more loops, that gives me an opportunity to kind of create a better eyelid now. There we go, pretty good. Move this one over some, move that one over. There we go. So it needs to go back this way a little bit. There we go. All right, so maybe the bottom eyelids are too low on the body, so we'll kind of pull them up. There you go. Pretty good. All right, so that already looks like a lot better of a head structure around the eyes. we can duplicate this eyeball over to the other side. There we go, that looks pretty good. We have a good brow line started. We can create some more loops to define that brow line a little more. Let's look at the nose as far as how wide the nose is. Oh, okay, so from this view, the nose is too high, but really from the side view, my nose is on the right position. So I'm not going to mess with my nose too much. I think it looks pretty proportional. One thing that could help is if I take the nose, like all of these, and maybe just move it forward some. I'm going to do a higher volume. There we go. So it's not as encaved there. It's kind of pushed back, kind of weird looking. So if I pull this out a little more, that might give me a better defined form. All right, let's look at the mouth, and that'll be the last thing we're going to adjust. So the mouth is probably too wide. So let's select some of the outer corner points. Deselect the outer edges. With the soft select still on, let's see if we can kind of move it closer. So the corners of the mouth are a little bit better here. I think that's pretty good. All right, so we don't want to create too crazy of a form. Maybe pull it out some. Let's do surface. Keep pulling it in. That's pretty good. I really don't think I need to do too much with the lips here, but the lips are defined all right. Maybe I'll take this loop, kind of pull it out a little more, define that a little bit more here. Maybe we'll take those vertices, move them down. Just refining some of the basic forms of the lips here. All right, that's pretty good. All right, so maybe add another loop. Put another loop here to define the eyebrows a little bit more. We can come back with that relax tool again. Relax some of those neck loops a little more. Relax these out on the side a little bit. There you go. And that way we can come in here, define the eyebrows a little more. Let's take a smaller brush. There we go. Maybe with the sculpt tool, we'll knock that in a little bit so it's not too crazy of a brow form. But there we go. So that rounded off those eyebrows really well now. Just some small little fine-tune adjustments that can be done to kind of get the form how we're looking, how we need it to look here. All right, so there we've done a lot of good improvements to the head shape. Makes it look a lot more natural and believable. The last video we'll talk about kind of cleaning up the model, connecting it to the body, deleting the history, and cleaning up the scene here.